How's it going, everybody? Halfway Curly here, and it's about that time again. The final pay-per-view of 2023. It's been a great year. We have a lot of amazing cards, a lot of amazing outcomes, and we've seen many jaw-dropping performances. And last month, it was a great pay-per-view. I loved it. And this last pay-per-view is incredible. It's stacked all the way to the brims. Even the prelims, closing the prelims, have some pretty good fights that would be main events and fight nights and stuff like that. So yeah, today I just wanted to break down every single fight that interests me. I know I'm not gonna talk about someone like the first prelim guy, and you have to excuse me there. It just doesn't interest me that much. I don't want to be disrespectful or anything like that, but yeah, I just want to talk about fights that interest me. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is Cody Garbrandt. I kind of forgot he was on this card because we have so much talent that's just outshining everything else, even at the bottom. But he's on this card. I remember the last time I saw him fight, I think it was in March. He fought this other guy. He was doing really well. He was mixing in good takedowns, good footwork. I just remember the funniest thing about it is that he got caught at some point of that fight, and it looked pretty bad. I thought it was over for a second. But he clutched it out. He got a win after being knocked out. So that's good for him. And this weekend, you have to forgive me again, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a favorite in that fight. Huge favorite. I don't know the other guy. So I'm expecting him to win. Man, I'm expecting something similar, maybe a little bit better than his last performance. So yeah, good for Cody. Hopefully he wins. The second and last prelim fight with Irene Aldana is kind of interesting to me. And I know a lot of people are probably gonna think it's not gonna be worth a watch, especially after that pitiful performance she put against Amanda earlier in the year. And I know that was so sad. I think I had that was the same night that Charles knocked out Beneil Dariush in Canada. And I remember I had put money on Charles and he won, and I was so happy because I'm a big Charles fan, and he just won me some big money because they always put him as the underdog. And I was feeling myself. But then I was sitting next to my grandpa watching the pay-per-view live, and I was like, hey, yo, grandpa, this is a Mexican woman. She's going against the Brazilian. She's kind of old. She's kind of on the end of her career. I think she might be able to pull something off. She's a decent striker. And then he basically was like, yeah, go throw some money on it. And I think I put $10 on her. I would have won 30 or something like that. And I was like, okay. And then as soon as the bell rang, Amanda came out, and we already know what happens. She just came out and beat her up. She kind of threw no punches, and I was very sad. I think I tuned out after round 3. Very disappointed. I knew I lost my money then. But this is hopefully a shot at redemption. I'm Mexican myself, as I don't know if anyone knows, but I'll put it out here now. I'm Mexican, and I want to see my Mexican people win. And hopefully she does that here. She said in a Facebook post, I think, that, oh, I was so embarrassing. You will never see me do that again. And I'm like, well, we hope not, and this is a chance for her to prove that. So next, we got the featured prelim, Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. This is an interesting matchup. I didn't think in my head, my little matchmaker head, I never thought to myself, yeah, let's throw Bryce Mitchell versus Josh Emmett. And obviously, this wasn't the original fight. Josh was gonna fight Giga Chávez. Sorry if I butchered that name, but that guy, he recently, who did he fight? I forgot who he fought, but he won. And this was gonna be his next step to get back into title contention. But unfortunately, he pulled his groin or something, and Bryce Mitchell stepped up. And I think the most interesting part about this fight is at least as of now, Bryce Mitchell is listed as the favorite, the betting favorite, which is interesting because while Bryce has went on to beat Dan Ige earlier this year, I still remember him getting brutalized by Ilia Topuria. And Josh Emmett, I know he's looked really mediocre the last couple of fights, but he hits hard, and there's a good chance that he'll throw something that'll connect with Bryce and will just put him to sleep. But then Bryce is younger, he's probably faster, probably got the better jiu-jitsu, but Josh is very durable, very strong. He reminds me of a tree, just thick and sturdy. So if I see the fight playing anyway, I think I got Bryce winning by decision. If he does a Hail Mercy, Amen, hold up the Bible and everything, and does a submission, wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not counting on it. So now we're on the main card. Opening up the main card, we have Vicente Luque versus Garry. And we've all been hearing about you and Garry a lot recently. And I think he's a weirdo. Like, at first, I forgot when he joined the UFC, but I watched his debut. And, like, it was kind of like, eh. And then he knocked out that guy. I was like, oh, okay. And he basically is, like, talking about how Conor, like, McGregor inspired him and he wants to be the next Irish star. I was like, good for you. Hopefully, you do that, you know? Because at first, he was a pretty chill dude. He was getting wins, you know, doing decent. And then all of a sudden, he just turned into a bad guy. Like, starts talking the maddest crap. And then, like the reason I decided to turn against him as a little fan is when he fought Neil Magny. Like, obviously, when he fought Jeff Neal, I thought it was weird that he put his mugshot on the shirt. Like, okay. Like, I just thought it was weird. Like, why are you gonna do that, you know? And then when he fell out of the fight and he was gonna fight Neil Magny, he just started, like, being, like, rude to him. I don't know is the best way to put it. And he, like, started spreading a narrative that he's a child beater when he never said that. Like, I think he just saw like 5 seconds of a clip, like, oh, this guy. But all Neil Magny said was that he was gonna whoop him like he whoops his kid. But I'm like, that's not child abuse. He's not, like, beating his kid, but, like, whatever. And then, like, that press conference was so awful because he was just like, shut your mouth, you. Like, they would ask questions to Neil and he would just say that over and over again. I'm like, who do you think you are, you know? But yeah, that was cringe. And then, like, obviously the thing came out with him taking his wife's, like, name, and I'm like, okay, I'm in 2023, I guess. And then I found out his wife is 40. I was like, oh snap. And that her husband is his nutritionist. I'm like, oh snap. And then there's rumors of him living with Ian and his wife, so the husband is still living with them. So I'm like, so yeah, like, anything he was talking all the trash, but, like, now he can't say anything. Like, he's literally like a soy boy cuck. And yeah, it sucks to be him now. Like, he got to deal with everything and he can't say nothing. But as far as the fight goes, I really like Vicente Luque. He's, like, a really nice, like, cool guy. He's very veteran. But unfortunately, I don't really see a way he wins. I even see Irene knocking him out somehow. And it would be, like, very sad to see because Vicente is, like, really cool. But I think Ian's going to win, unfortunately. The next fight on the main card is Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. And I know I made a video supporting Tony, and I want him to win. And, like, who doesn't want to see my boy win, especially against the likes of Paddy Pimblett? But I don't know, man. Like, I just get the bad feeling because, you know, every time I see Tony Ferguson get ready to fight, I'm like, he got this. He's going to win this one. This is the chance. This is his opportunity. He has to seize it. I said it every single fight ever since he lost to Beneil Dariush. And it's just been unfortunate downright since. And I think I seen a clip of him, like, hitting these little wooden, like training things. I don't know what they're called. And he looked really, really slow. And that just gave me, like, a really bad vibe that it is going to be Paddy's just too fast, too strong for him. I don't think he's going to get knocked out again, but I think it's a high possibility that he's going to get submitted, which is very sad, and I might cry a little bit. And if it happens, I hope Tony retires. He's deserved it. But knowing Tony, he's probably not. He said he's probably going to make an Instagram post like, oh man, yeah, that's not even it. You'll see me when I come back. SEO or whatever he said, what is it, CSGO or something like that. I don't know what he'd be saying in his Instagram, but he'll probably post something like that. But if he wins, hell yeah, man, we want to celebrate. Me and the boys gonna go out, do backflips on the couch. It's gonna be insane. Hope he wins, but high possibility that he doesn't. The next fight that we're gonna talk about is Shavkat versus Wonderboy Thompson, and this one's probably one of the ones I'm most excited for. These two guys are electrifying, very fun. And I don't have too much experience watching Shavkat Rakhmonov live, but I will say I did have the privilege of watching him fight back in March against Jeff Neal. That fight was probably fight of the year. It was insane. And then, like, it was just trading back and forth until Shavkat, what was it, like the standing rear naked choke? I didn't even know that was possible. And then he just choked him out. Like, he was already winning, but he wanted to just secure his 100% finish rate. That fight was crazy. And I'm hoping this is something very similar. And when it comes to Wonderboy Thompson, I have seen him live ever since I started watching MMA, which was a couple years ago. I think, unfortunately, majority of that was him getting wrestled by, who was it? Gilbert Burns first, and then Bilal Muhammad second. And then I think I forgot what his next fight was, but I remember he fought Kevin Holland. I don't know if it was last year or like this year. and that was a fun fight. I thought what's his name, Kevin Holland, would have done way better, but he just got schooled, and that showed that Wonderboy still had that angst in him. And then he was supposed to fight in July, but then his opponent missed weight, and he said he didn't want to fight an overweight opponent. I forgot who it was. He said that he fought someone who was overweight at one point, and that he felt that weight into the fight, that they were stronger, and he didn't want to do that to himself again. And then he got into a beef with the UFC because they didn't pay for his like training costs or anything, and the UFC was like, well, you didn't show up to the fight. And yeah, but then I think they got it sorted. And then I think as a revenge, the UFC booked him against Shavkat, because Shavkat is explosive. He's fiery. I think the winner of this fight, Bilal Muhammad's probably gonna get the next title shot, but the UFC doesn't like him, so there's a possibility that these guys are gonna jump him if it's like absolutely spectacular. Like if Shavkat throws a knee and knocks him out or something in the first 5 seconds, he might get it. But who do I see winning? I think I just gotta go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Wonderboy Thompson is old. I think he's like almost pushing 40. I think if he loses here, he might consider calling it quits, because this is his final shot at the title, like his final run. If he loses, I doubt he'll get another opportunity again. But yeah, whoever wins or loses, I'm just excited to see a fun fight, and hopefully Shavkat wins, and maybe they make a title number one with a number one contender fight between Shavkat and Bilal can go away forever. But wishful thinking. Now we reach the co-main event of the evening: Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. I feel like this one is getting kind of underlooked at the moment, because anything flyweight not related to Brandon Moreno is kind of ignored. But I think this should be a really fun fight. Brandon Royval is a super talented striker. He has like a variety of weapons that he can use. I think he has some slick submission skills as well. But we already know Alexander Pantoja, when he fought Brandon Moreno like this July. I personally thought that Brandon Moreno won that fight, but they gave it to him. It was a close fight, so like I wasn't too beat up about it, but I was sad to see my boy lose. Mexico down for real. But yeah, it was a super exciting fight, and it takes two to tango. So when he gave that fight to Brandon Moreno, it was super entertaining. I believe that probably will win the fight of the year this year. So I'm expecting him to bring that same level of energy to this fight, where he's going to push the pace, go crazy, throw submissions. I hope we see less of him just sitting on the back looking for submissions, and more of, if he's going to go for a submission, to just go, transition, and keep trying to find something and not just piggyback. Because that was probably the boringest part of the fight, even though it didn't last that long. But yeah, and as who I see winning, I think Alexander Pantoja is going to win. I think it's going to be an all-out war. I don't think that Brandon Royval can chin him, because he was taking a lot of Moreno shots, and he got hurt, but he didn't get dropped. And I just think he's going to put the pace on Brandon Royval and probably going to choke him out again. Yeah, that's the prediction for that fight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening. Alright, my bad. That's probably cringe. I just thought it'd be fun. Okay. So the main event, we have Colby versus Leon Edwards, and I think this is an interesting fight. Obviously, we've seen Leon Edwards go against Kamaru Usman, and well, he was losing the first fight until he got the out of nowhere head kick KO, headshot dead, iconic. And then the second fight, he won more decisively. But then that brings into the question: how will he fight against another wrestler like Colby? So we gotta look at the comparisons between Colby and Kamaru Usman. I think the best way I can describe it is as Kamaru Usman is more strength and it's strength, and then Colby is more pressure and cardio. Kamaru will hold you on the floor, hit you on the feet. He'll hit you with super hard jabs, super hard crosses. While Colby, he will just take you down, 1-2, punch, little punches, like 60% power, throw another takedown, he fails, he gets back up, transitions, boom. And I think this is gonna see how Leon fares with that. Obviously, we've seen him battle the takedowns against Kamaru, and he did really well in the second round, the second fight, but even though he was like grabbing the fence and stuff. And we gotta see how Colby can mix in his takedowns. I don't really know who to give the edge to, but I am leaning slightly towards Leon, just because of his performances against Kamaru. And then also the fact that Colby is a pretty chinny guy. in both of his Kamaru fights, well, in the first one he got finished after being dropped and wobbled. And in the second one he got dropped and wobbled 2 times, and he lost by decision. And even against when he fought Jorge Masvidal last, was like almost 2 years ago, March. Jesus, it's been a long time. He was winning that fight, but even like in a split second, Jorge hit him with a hard right, and it dropped him for a second. I know he like makes the joke, I took a knee for the civil protectors or whatever. He's a funny guy, but he did get dropped, and that leads me to be suspect of his chin. And the fact that, like I mentioned, he's been out for almost like 2 years, literally almost 2 years. Yeah, I think he's gotta go with Leon. I think he's gonna win a pretty. I hope it's not a boring decision, but like Leon isn't the most exciting fighter. Like I know we all love that headshot dead moment, and it's like probably gonna be the best moment of his career. I don't think he can ever top that. If he does another one, maybe. But besides that, like flash knockout, he's just been like a decision fighter. Pick, punch, kick, boom, boom. You know, nothing too crazy. And I think he's gonna pick apart Colby and then take home the belt again. So yeah, I think he's gonna win that one by decision. Anyways, that does it for my UFC 296 picks. It's going down this Saturday live on pay-per-view. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be watching it live, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Bye.